It's summer! Well, not officially, but it has been so hot this past week in the Midwest USA, so I'm calling it. That means it's the perfect time to pick a palette for a summer eye look. And since it's always more fun to play with makeup with a friend, Gloria from Beauty After 50 and I decided to team up and do a summer eye look collaboration. But we thought it would be fun to put a little twist on it, and rather than just doing a straight palette bingo, we each got to pick a palette from our own collection, and then the other person did the random number generator to pick the shades. I decided that I am going to use the Young, Wild, and Cruelty-free palette from Tarte that I got from my good friend Leanna Dalton for my birthday mail. So let's take a look at the palette I'm going to use. Isn't that pretty? So here is the color 3. It is a really pretty smooth shimmer. For shade 2, she was kind and gave me a beautiful transition shade. It's just a very soft, dusty mauve pink. 11 is this beautiful kind of gold shimmer. You ready for 15? Beautiful. And I'm not going to take the wimp claws this time and use this as liner. I'm going to put this on my lids. And then number 9 is this brighter kind of gold color. So we've got shade 3, shade 2, 11, 15, and 9. Okay, I've pulled you in nice and close, and because I don't have the option to use that light color to set my eye primer down, when I powdered my face, putting on my face makeup, I went ahead and set my eyelids with my face powder as well. I will have everything that is on my face listed in the description box below for you to check out if you're interested in what I'm wearing. I'm going to use the Morphe M518 brush. It's a fluffy blending brush, and I'm going to go into shade 2 and use that as my transition. My YouTube channel will be a year old on June 7th. I can't believe I've been doing this for almost a year. And Gloria has had her channel for about a year and a half. She started in December of 2020. And so we thought while we put makeup on, it would be fun to do the Where Are We Now tag that was started by Erica Conger when she did a collaboration with Not Your Basic Steph. Any channels I mentioned, by the way, I will be linking in the description box down below if you want to go check them out. So Erica came up with these 10 questions about your YouTube channel and your journey on YouTube, and we thought that that would be interesting to learn about each other and to share with you. Okay, that shadow is really, really nice. Pigmented, blendable. I really like it. So I'm going to go in with shade 2, and as I do that, I'm going to answer the first question. Do you still feel the same about having your YouTube channel as you did when you started? And for me, the answer to this question is yes and no. It's yes, because I still just really love it. It's so much fun filming and coming up with ideas and being creative. That's kind of what the channel's about, is finding those creative outlets that just feed you and give you energy and joy. And I just really love this, and I still do, even after almost a year of doing it. But my answer is also no, and it's not negative in the way you might think. It's no because when I first started, I was just kind of dabbling. I was just playing and having fun, and I didn't really have any expectations that this would be anything more than me indulging my creativity and having a half a dozen followers. I did not imagine that I would end up with over 300 subscribers who wanted to hear what I have to say. And I think that that is humbling and a little terrifying, but also really exciting. And so now I have more goals for my channel than I did when I started. I have more expectations of what's possible and what might be able to happen. I have 2 colors that are almost the same, and that's 11 and 9. And I think I want to use 9 sort of just in the center. It's going to blend between the inner and the blue that I'm going to put on the outer portion. Not completely sure what I'm doing, as usual, but let's go to question 2. Question 2 is an easy one. If you could do something different when you started your YouTube channel, what would it be? I would start sooner. I thought about this for over 2 years before I finally sat down in front of my phone and pressed record. And I wish that I had done it sooner because I would be so much further along now. But I started when I did, and now I'm here. I want to be very precise with this blue, so I'm going to use a flat shader brush and pick some of that up. And I'm going to use that in the outer corner. It's a really nice blue. It reminds me of a pool or the ocean, so it's great for a summer look. And I am getting some fallout, so I think I'm going to spray this and see if I can tame that down a little bit. I'm going to use my Urban Decay All-Nighter to spray my brush. I had shadow on that brush already. Get a little bit more. Oh yeah, then it's going to just really pop too, so that's cool. So pretty. And I'm going to grab another blending brush so that I can blend the top of that. I grabbed this kind of dense powder brush and I think I managed to flick away the fallout. And I said I was going to just use a brush, but I'm going to use my finger because it's less likely to fall everywhere if you use your finger. There we go. You know what I should have done? I should have used tape, but I didn't, so we'll just clean it up at the end. The next question is, how has your filming schedule changed since you started, or has it stayed the same? And my uploading schedule has pretty much stayed the same because I am still shooting for uploading twice a week. But when I started, I was filming, editing, and uploading one video, and then when that was finished, starting on the next one. And now I am more likely to plan out 4 or 5 videos at once, and then I'll batch film them on a Saturday and get all my filming done at one time. I feel like I'm kind of making a mess with this, but you know what? Sometimes we can learn things when we make a mess, so let's see if I can rescue it, okay? So I have used now 4. I'm going to come back in a little bit with this number 9 and blend these edges in the center a little bit better. That's kind of helped that mess. And then let's go back to that number 2 shade and blend this top part a little bit and make it a little, see if I can make it less muddy looking, because it just kind of does look a little bit muddy up there. Question number 4 is, what surprised you the most about having a channel? And that would definitely be the people that I have met. I seriously thought that this would be a rather solitary endeavor. I mean, you sit in your room alone with a camera and you edit alone, and that's how I anticipated that it would be. And it's just not. There's this whole community of creators that are so supportive and so encouraging, and I've met some amazing people, and that has been the most surprising thing to me. I'm going to go clean up some of this fallout and I'll be right back. Okay, well that took quite a bit of repair work. I had to use a wipe and clean up down here, and then I put my foundation back on, and I'm probably going to need to touch up a little bit of blush and highlighter, but I think it's okay. So I'm going to take that number 2 shade now and pull that under the eye to start working on the lower lash line and go on to another question. And honestly, these 2 shadows look different when they're swatched, but on the eye, they really don't. This is shade number 2 and number 11, and I have used both of them, but you can't see a distinction between them. So if you're using them in the same look, there's not a difference. So the gold that is shade number 9 does look different, and I have put that in the center of my lid to brighten that up where the 2 shades meet. And I'm going to use that shade number 9 on the tip of a flat shader brush, and I'm going to put that on that lower lash line as well. I think that's really pretty. And we did allow for another shade to be used if we needed it for an inner corner highlight. But before I do that, I'm going to go on to another question. And number 5 is, what do you like most and what do you like least about having a YouTube channel? What I like most is the filming. I like planning the videos and filming them and that sort of thing. And what I like least is not necessarily all of post-production, because I do like editing, but I don't like filling in the description box and the tags and the thumbnail and title and that kind of stuff. To me, that's just more of the tedious work, and that's what I like the least. There's a shade in here called Awkward, and it's this kind of shimmery pearl color right there. I'm going to use that for an inner corner highlight. And because I like trying new things, in the last video that I did, which was the full face of LA colors, the palettes that I had came with these little sponge applicator tips, and I tossed them over my shoulder. Well, Pia from Makeup by Pia said, retrieve those because they're great for doing an inner corner highlight. So we're going to try it. So I picked up a little bit, and we're just going to dab that in. It is very easy to get in there with that. Okay, and then I'm going to put a little on the brow bone. Normally I don't put a shimmer on my brow bone, but this look is a little bit darker, so why not? Question number 6. Are you able to come up with video ideas easily, or is that a challenging aspect? Actually, I have a lot of ideas. I have way more ideas than I have time to film my ideas. And sometimes creating a video gives me 3 or 4 new ideas. So no, it's not really a problem coming up with ideas. It is a problem coming up with time to act on all of those ideas. I want to ramp up that blue a little bit, so I'm going to use the Essence Long Lasting Eye Pencil in Tu-tu-turquoise in my lower waterline. If you start to put your eyeliner in your waterline and it doesn't seem like it's doing anything, take your hand and just kind of rub the tip on your hand to kind of warm it up a little bit. And then when you come back in, it should work a lot better. Number 7 is, how do you think you've grown in your time as a creator? I found some channels in January that were all about growing your YouTube channel and becoming better at doing YouTube. And I spent a lot of January watching that kind of content versus content in the beauty space. These were things like editing, creating thumbnails, titles. I didn't know how to do any of that when I started. And so it's all been learn as you go. And I'd gotten to a point where I wanted to go further and learn more, but I didn't know how. And so I reached out, and YouTube is one of those places where you can learn how to do just about anything. And that includes how to get better at doing YouTube. So my goal now is to learn something new with every video and to try to make each video just a little bit better than the one before it. For my upper waterline, Tried and True Wet n Wild Breakup Proof Eyeliner Pencil in black. And I don't think I'll be able to talk while I do this, so I'm just going to go off camera and I'll be right back. So the next question is number 8. So far, what is the video that you've created that you love the most or are most proud of, and which one do you like the least? And I'm going to talk about this while I curl my eyelashes. The one I'm most proud of is my first one. And that's because, like I said before, I waited so long to start my channel. And then one day I just decided to do it. And I didn't have any fancy equipment, and I didn't have a microphone or lights or anything. And I just turned on my phone and hit record. I had a $5 tripod from Five Below, and I set it up and I just did it. And that's the one I'm most proud of. It's not necessarily the one I like the most or I think is the best, but I am proud of it. The one I like the least is the Aloe Vera Gel Polish review, and it's not because it's not successful. It is my most viewed video on my channel. Unfortunately, I did it when I didn't really know as much, and so the quality just isn't that good. So I really think it's something that I probably need to revisit and film again now that I have a little better idea of what I'm doing and a little better setup and sound and lights and that sort of thing. So I might try to redo that in the future, but I'm also proud of it because it does bring people to my channel who might not otherwise find it. Almost finished, so I'm going to read this one and then put on mascara while I'm talking about it. Number 9 is, do you think about long-term goals for your channel, or do you focus on the here and now? I'm going to use the Urban Decay Perversion mascara that I got at a half-off sale at Ulta. And if you haven't seen my hacks for getting high-end makeup at drugstore prices, I will link that one down below because I like nice things, but I don't want to pay nice thing prices all the time. And if you shop wisely, you don't have to. So anyway, the question for this one, I do think about long-term goals for my channel, but I try to keep the majority of my focus on the here and now, because I find that if I put too much focus on the long term, I can get bogged down in that. And the same with the research. I can spend too much time researching and learning at the expense of doing. So I have to keep a balance. And I think I've gotten to a place where I'm doing that pretty well. I need to stay focused on making YouTube part of my life and not letting it take over my life. So now I have long-term goals in mind, and I have a plan to get there that allows me to enjoy the journey. And after all, that's what this channel is all about. We have one more question to wrap up here, and it is, if you could sit down with your former pre-YouTube self, what advice would you give yourself in terms of having a YouTube channel? And I have two things I would tell myself. One, I would go back to my 2-year prior YouTube self and say, what are you waiting for? Just do it. You're going to love it, and it's going to be so much fun. And then I would also tell myself to don't keep it a secret. I didn't tell anybody in my life that I was doing a YouTube channel for maybe 3 or 4 months into the journey. And I don't know exactly why I didn't, but part of it was I wasn't sure I was going to continue it. And I didn't want to start something, tell everybody, and then say, oh, I changed my mind. But so what if I did? I mean, that would have been okay. So that wasn't really a good reason not to. And I think I also thought that people might think I was a little odd. I don't think most people know somebody in real life that does YouTube. And so I fell into that trap of worrying what other people might think. And that's a trap we should not want to be in. We need to live our lives that are true to ourselves and true to the people that we love and have around us. So I would tell myself, A, just do it, and B, tell everybody, because honestly, everyone has been so supportive and nobody has looked at me weird like I thought they would. So I really need to give people a little more credit, I think. Okay, so that look was a little bit more of a struggle than I anticipated. I have used this palette before, and I actually used this teal color instead of the blue down here, and I didn't have as much trouble with fallout and getting it to show up and stay. This one, it seemed like every time I put it on and then tried to blend, it blended away. And so it might need more of like a glitter glue primer or something like that. But the other shades that I used were just beautiful. So I'm very happy with the look I created. Even though it was a bit of a struggle, it turned out okay in the end, and I guess that's what really matters, right? I will have Gloria's channel linked down below, and if you haven't been over to check her out, I encourage you to do so. She is a sweet Southern belle. I love her accent. I love listening to her. She has several different subscription boxes, so she does unboxings, she does hauls, she does get ready with me videos, a lot of collabs. She loves collabing with other YouTube creators. She is a regular participant in Mask Monday. She also does product reviews, and near and dear to my heart, she has joined in the PUD project. PUD stands for Project Use Up the Dribs and Drabs. If you want to see that journey, I will list my PUD playlist down below in the description box, and you can check that out. Do you have any big plans for the summer? Any vacations planned? My family and I, all 4 of my children and 2 of their spouses, we're renting a house on the beach and spending a week in Florida, and I cannot wait. So if you have summer plans, talk about them down in the comments below. I'd love to hear where you're going or what you're planning. And if you enjoyed this video, then as always, please give it a like and a subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I upload new content. I hope that you have a beautiful, blessed day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye!